You think no contact is working on her. Guess what? She's doing the exact same thing to you. Most guys assume that if they ignore a woman long enough, she'll come crawling back. But what if she's just as disciplined, just as strategic, and just as emotionally detached as you? What if she's mastered the game of silence better than you have? See, this is where most people get it wrong. They think no contact is about winning, about proving who cares less. They turn it into a battle of egos, a war of stubbornness. But in reality, no contact isn't about her. It's about you. Imagine this: two people, both refusing to reach out. One is suffering in silence, overanalyzing every moment, checking their phone every 5 minutes, waiting for a sign. The other? They've moved on, built a new life, and barely even noticed the silence. Who really won? Most people will never understand this, but you're about to learn something powerful. No contact is not a waiting game, it's a transformation game. And if you don't use this time wisely, if you don't rewire your mindset, you'll come out weaker, not stronger. The ancient Stoics had a saying, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And that's exactly what's happening to most guys right now. They're not suffering because she's gone. They're suffering because of the stories they tell themselves about why she's not coming back. But today, we're flipping the script. I'm going to show you how to stop waiting and start evolving. How to turn this silence into your greatest advantage. Because when she finally does reach out, you won't just be the same guy she left. You'll be someone entirely different, someone she never saw coming. So if you're ready to master the art of no contact, not as a tactic, but as a mindset, smash that subscribe and like button right now, and let's get into it. Number 1, the illusion of control. Most people unknowingly sabotage their own success in no contact. They think they're in control, but in reality they're still obsessed. Checking her social media, asking mutual friends about her, creating fake scenarios in their head. The truth? If you're still reacting, you're not in control. Let's break this down. Why do most people fail at no contact? Because deep down, they're waiting for a reaction. They want proof that it's working. But the moment you need an outcome, you've already lost. Here's the mindset shift. The Stoics believed in dichotomy of control, the idea that there are only two things in life. Things you can control, things you cannot. Your thoughts, your habits, your growth, you control that. Her feelings, her actions. Whether she misses you, you don't. So why waste energy on something you can't change? Think about it. If she's also doing no contact and she's genuinely moved on, what does that mean for you? It means you have two choices. Stay stuck in a loop of waiting, hoping, and overanalyzing. Use this time to level up so that no matter what happens, you win. Remember this: no contact isn't about making her miss you. It's about making yourself unrecognizable when she does. Quick challenge. Try going 48 hours without checking her social media, thinking about her, or wondering what she's doing. See how it changes your mindset. If you break that challenge, comment "mindset shift" below, because awareness is the first step to growth. Number 2, the power of emotional detachment. You've been lied to about emotions. Here's the truth. Society tells you that love is about passion, emotion, and intensity. But real power, real attraction, that comes from emotional detachment. Let me tell you a story. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic emperors of all time, faced betrayal, loss, and war. But through it all, he remained calm, unaffected, and in control. Why? Because he understood one key principle. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Now, apply this to no contact. Most guys let emotions dictate their actions. They feel lonely, so they text. They feel anxious, so they check her Instagram. They feel desperate, so they stalk her last scene. But a man who masters emotional detachment, he controls himself. He controls his urges. And because of that, he controls the outcome. Here's where psychology comes in. Studies show that people are most attracted to what they can't fully have. When you show emotional detachment, when you truly stop caring whether she comes back, that's when she starts wondering about you. Because now, you're no longer predictable. You're no longer the guy she assumed would always wait. You've become a mystery, and mystery, that's powerful. Next time you feel the urge to break no contact, ask yourself this: am I acting out of strength or weakness? If it's weakness, pause, breathe, recenter, and remember, real strength isn't in reacting, it's in restraint. If this hit you hard, drop a fire emoji in the comments. Let's see how many of us are leveling up. Number 3, the psychological trigger of scarcity. Why do some people effortlessly attract others while most are stuck chasing? It all comes down to scarcity versus abundance. Think about it. What happens when something becomes rare? Its value skyrockets. Whether it's gold, luxury cars, or limited edition sneakers, the less available something is, the more people want it. Now, apply this to no contact. Most guys make the mistake of being too available, even in silence. They might not be texting her, but deep down, they're still emotionally accessible. They're waiting, hoping, and subconsciously signaling that they're just on pause, ready to be resumed. But if she senses that you're still emotionally attached, even from a distance, she won't feel any real loss. Here's the shift. Instead of being in limbo, you need to become scarce. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You need to create the feeling that you are no longer accessible because you've outgrown the version of yourself she once knew. Let's take a psychological perspective. Studies in behavioral economics show that people fear loss twice as much as they desire gain. This is called loss aversion bias. In simple terms, people don't truly value something until they feel like they're losing it. So when you go no contact, but you also level up, disappear and evolve, something shifts in her mind. She starts to wonder, wait, why isn't he chasing? Why does he seem different? Did I misjudge his value? And that's when the psychological trigger of scarcity kicks in. She begins to perceive you as a man who is no longer obtainable in the way she once thought. And what does the human brain do when it senses scarcity? It panics, it reevaluates, it desires. But here's the catch: you can't fake this. You can't just act like you don't care. It has to be real. And how do you make it real? By actually becoming someone who doesn't need her validation anymore. By building a life so full, so rich, so purpose-driven that she's no longer the center of your mental universe. Next time you feel the urge to check on her, stop. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do right now to make myself more valuable? Then go do it. Number 4, the reattraction paradox. The moment you stop trying to get her back is the moment she starts coming back. Why? Because at a psychological level, people are drawn to what they can't fully understand. Let's go deeper. Imagine 2 versions of yourself. Version 1, the guy who is subtly waiting, checking his phone, trying to win the no-contact battle. Version 2, the guy who has completely shifted his focus, rebuilding himself, moving with purpose. Which one is more attractive? The second one, without a doubt, because the second version is unpredictable. And unpredictability, that's what creates intrigue. Let's take a lesson from philosophy. Nietzsche once said, "One must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star." What does that mean? It means that transformation, true, undeniable transformation, only happens when you embrace the chaos of change. when you stop resisting growth, when you stop waiting for her and start becoming something greater. Here's where most guys mess this up. They think, all right, I'll act like I've moved on. I'll post some gym selfies, flex a new lifestyle, and she'll come running back. But if your actions are still rooted in the goal of making her return, you've already failed, because she can sense it. Women have an insane ability to detect inauthenticity, and if she sees that you're just pretending to move on, she won't feel real loss. But when you genuinely let go, when she sees that you've become someone new, not for her, but for yourself, that's when the dynamic shifts. Because now you're no longer the man she left. Now she has to work to understand you, and people always desire what they don't fully understand. Be honest. Are you truly moving on, or are you secretly waiting for her return? Drop a brain in the comments if you're committed to real growth. Number 5. The mirror effect. How she feels your energy, even in silence. Ever notice how people can sense when someone is desperate, even without words? That's because emotions are contagious, and in the game of no contact, this is what separates those who win from those who endlessly wait. Let's break this down. Most guys don't realize that even in no contact, their energy is still communicating. If you're sitting around, obsessing, hoping and waiting for her to reach out, you're unknowingly projecting neediness. And here's the kicker, she feels it. How? It's called the mirror effect, a psychological phenomenon where people subconsciously reflect the energy you put out. If you're mentally stuck in the past, still emotionally attached, and secretly waiting for her return, she'll sense it, even if you never text her. And when she senses that, she doesn't feel the need to reach out, because deep down, she knows you're still there. But when you truly disconnect, when you shift your energy away from her and toward your own growth, something changes. Suddenly, she feels a void where your attention used to be. She starts wondering, why does it feel like something is missing? Why do I sense that he's gone? Wait, has he actually moved on? And that's when the fear kicks in. Because now it's not just silence, it's absence. And absence, that creates curiosity. Here's what to do. Instead of focusing on what she's thinking, redirect that energy into yourself. Hit the gym, start a new project, travel solo, go out and meet new people, build something meaningful. Because when you genuinely detach, your energy shifts and she feels it. And that's when the real power of no contact begins to work in your favor. For the next 7 days, focus 100% on your own growth. No checking her socials, no wondering, no waiting. If you're in, comment "level up" below. Number 6. The final boss, becoming the man she regrets losing. At the end of the day, no contact isn't about her. It's about the man you become in the process. Most guys think the goal is to make her miss them, but that's playing small. The real goal, to evolve so much that by the time she realizes what she lost, you no longer even care. Let's talk about the final boss mindset. In every great story, the hero doesn't just get stronger, he transforms. He goes through pain, through trials, through setbacks. But instead of breaking, he uses that pain to become something unstoppable, and this is where most guys fail. They think pain is the end, but in reality, pain is the beginning. The ancient Stoics had a saying, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Meaning, that breakup, that silence, that feeling of loss, it's not a roadblock, it's the path. And if you use it correctly, it will forge you into the kind of man who no longer chases validation, no longer seeks approval, no longer waits for someone to come back, because by that point, you'll be so evolved, so focused, and so powerful that it won't even matter anymore. And ironically, that's the moment she'll feel it the most, because now you've become the one that got away. At the end of the day, real strength isn't in words, it's in action. Like and subscribe if this resonated with you. See you in the next one. Exit line. Until next time, stay sharp.